Serious. We're bringing the guard down.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Bring Your Guard Down podcast. That's 2 weeks in a row I screwed the intro up. That's crazy. So I just want to start off by, apologizing for the really shitty audio and distortion and all the mistakes we made in the first couple of podcasts. I think we did 5 of them, but now I think we've got it sorted out. We bought some new technology.
Oh, it's nice, yeah.
Yeah, and we've got a new producer, Mikey. You can't see him.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be running everything for us. He's in the back there, and we're going to try to get even more professional.
Oh, yeah.
So, and of course, we have the infamous Rocco Rompamuro here today. And we have a special guest, a return guest, actually. Claudio Coppola from Coppola Pictures. But hold on, before we even get there, for those of you listening, if you like what you hear and you want to subscribe to if you're on iHeart or iTunes or what's the other one? Spotify,
iHeart,
nice YouTube. Just click and subscribe to our channels. We want to get our base growing, and so hopefully, if you like what you hear, it's going to be getting better and better every week. So for us, it's just a matter of, we do it because we love it. So let's get on with it. Claudio Coppola. The last time he was with us was 2018.
I saw the old message you sent me. I go, holy shit, 2018. It's not done yet.
Well, I'm trying to get the old guys back, just to kind of see how things have been going.
Willowdale, the Willowdale boys.
Well, I got the Willowdale boy. You grew up in my neighborhood, That's we're just talking about some of the, some of the crazy characters, and unfortunately, one of them just kind of passed away recently. You just told us, right?
Everybody was there. There was Gadi Lee from Rush. Grew up in that area.
Who?
Gadi Lee.
Yeah.
Gadi. I like him.
He's from that area.
What was his? Yeah, he was. But his partner too. What was his name? The guitar.
His last
player?
name was really Weinberg.
Who?
Al Weinberg. Remember Al Weinberg used to go to Newtonburg?
Yeah.
My brother.
Who was that? Well, that was who was he? That was Al Weinberg. Who is he?
Oh, Gadi Lee. His real name I can't remember. I remember.
Getty Lee was Weinberg, or that was the other guy?
That was actually the real last name.
Yeah.
Weinberg.
Oh, yeah. Getty Lee. He's famous from the band Rush, right?
Rush, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Rush,
there was also Howie Mandel. We grew up with Howie Mandel in the same area. Steve Mandel hung out with us. Steve Mandel.
Who's his Steve?
Steve is Howie Mandel's brother.
Oh, Lofrato.
And he married a Italian girl. There's a place called Bianca's back in the days. It's a funeral home there now.
Yeah.
We used to work at Bianca's. I was the busboy there.
Oh, yeah.
We used to have these white jackets on, and you could see oil stains because we used to put the garlic bread inside our pockets.
Why?
Me and Ugo, because we didn't have garlic bread at home. So leftover garlic bread from the tables were the busboys. We're going to eat them. Eat them and put it back away, right?
Hold on a sec. I remember Bianca's. I remember when it burned down, that fire there. But anyway.
It was a lady that owned it with 2 daughters. Then they had a 62 Corvette.
Yeah.
And then they moved to Florida.
So what about this bread? You guys would wear these busboy jackets.
Yeah.
And you'd put the bread that people didn't eat in your pockets.
Yeah. Like if Stitch was a good-looking woman, there were a lot of rich people. Back it was called a tavern back then.
Yeah, I remember.
And we used to put. We don't get garlic bread at home. We're allowed to even have cornflakes, just Cheerios.
Yeah.
Back in those days.
Cheerios,
Royalty cookies. Anyways, we put them in my pocket. There was me, my brother Ugo. We were all there.
You guys all worked there?
Yeah. Marco Canali worked there one day, and then he quit.
Why?
How come?
He didn't like it.
He didn't like it?
And then he left, right? He didn't want to do it anymore, right?
So
he had that attitude.
Holy shit. So
you know that they hired us one time to carry the saint at St. Pascal's? Me, Claudio Lacio.
What do you mean carry St. Pascal's? During the procession?
Santa Lucia.
Hold on.
It was Santa Lucia.
Me,
Ugo, Claudio Lacio.
Oh, yeah.
And Idolo.
Oh, yeah.
Idolo.
Yeah.
what?
So Idolo, he was very nervous. So we're all carrying the saint. Now you have to do left, right. If you don't do left, right, the saint's going to go like this.
Yeah.
So as we're walking, all the kids are running around. All of a sudden, see Idolo. Get out of the way. Get out. But swearing in Italian. And you see the priest in the front. He's reading the Bible, looks in the back. Silenzio. Like he's swearing and carrying a saint. We were never allowed to carry that saint ever again. The year after. They kicked us out.
Santa Lucia.
Yeah, Santa Lucia.
She took off.
That's how it is for the eyes, right?
Yeah.
Remember we had the greasy poles. You had to climb it.
But hold on, you're jumping too many. There's so many things we have to get to that. But I'm saying, back to Bianca's.
Yeah.
How old were you when you were working there?
Well, geez, I was like, that was my first job. I think I was like 13, 12, 14.
Yeah.
I remember I had money. My mom took a picture of us. I'm holding money like this. The first money we had because it was the tips, right? With the white jackets on.
Cash money, though, cash.
Yeah.
So what else happened over there? Some pretty funky stuff must have happened over there, Bianca's, like with the cooks and
I remember.
any funny stories or people that came in there?
I remember there's one guy. He came in and he saw the price because back in those days.
Yeah.
And he goes, I got to go home. I didn't shave. I remember the guy goes like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what happened one time?
Yeah.
Bianca was a tough woman.
Yeah.
Smart business, tough woman.
Yeah, tough.
So all of a sudden, she sees and you see a lady going down on somebody. She saw from a distance.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Hold on a
Stop
sec. Hold on a sec.
Stop right there. Stop the press.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean to go down?
Like
Fall
a-
down?
You know, like you know what I mean?
Oh, you mean like a...
La boca, with a mouth.
Oh, so
I don't
that's...
know if I should say it. Anyways,
That's
hold
oral
on.
sex.
Where? In the restaurant?
Inside the
In the
restaurant.
restaurant.
Not in the bathroom?
No, in the restaurant. And she saw, and she was tough. Back in those days, you could do anything you want. She goes to the lady, get up, and a scuff from botches got slap in her face. Paw!
No.
Get out of my store. And then they left, right? And she went clean her mouth up, and she left like that. I remember we were busboys like this. Oh, yeah, we thought she was a hero. We're young kids, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a true story. I'm not making it up. Now, imagine nowadays, she'd be like charged right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Who would be charged? The one doing the...
Bianca
Yeah.
slapped the owner, the girl in the face for doing that kind of. They got kicked out right away.
I just got to ask a couple questions. I'm a little bit confused, Claudio. Listen to me. Now, if she do oral sex, is she kneeling down on the floor under the table?
No, she just bent down like this, kind of like the bent down, and then like really, he's looking around, looking like she got a moke, right?
Oh, yeah. But did they order the food, too, and drink? And what are they
yeah.
doing?
Oh, yeah, they ordered everything.
So they had the food on the table.
Don't forget that they had those cloths on top of the table so you can't see underneath the table.
Yeah, but they had the food on the table.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so if they have the food on the table,
And she just went down.
you remember what she ordered?
No, he's like, God.
Because I know for sure she had a little bit of sausage that day.
She had the sausage in the oil. She had the
oil.
sausage in the
Ma
oil.
salsiccia mascola.
Ooh, that's how give it the power, eh?
Wow. So that I remember Bianca's was at Young and Steele's.
Yeah, it's a funeral home now.
Now, there was a fire, it burned down, and then
Yes.
they built a funeral home. That was a suspicious fire. That was massive, that fire.
It's weird. That's where Idolo had the barbershop.
Yeah, that's right. Then
Johnny's
there was a
barber
hardware. There was a Johnny's, and there was a hardware shop.
Yes.
A hardware store in the corner.
And you know what's sad? They didn't realize that he had passed away now, Idolo.
Yeah.
Oh, Italo, yeah.
That's actually my mom's cousin. So
Well, condolenze,
I go to the sons. I go, you realize your dad had a business here, now it's a funeral home, and now he's in a coffin here. He goes, I never thought of that. From owning a barbershop, and now poor guy was in a coffin. And they bought all these old stuff that he had. Remember those days he used to sharpen the
Razor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the razor, the leather, everything that he collected, Idolo.
Wow.
Remember the old cars he had, the Parisienne.
Yeah, yeah.
Idolo Parisienne.
That's a beautiful car.
Oh my God.
That's a Pontiac, right?
Yeah.
And then they used to go,
67s.
him and remember Michael Franco from Tony's Pizzeria?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you ever work there, Tony's Pizzeria? That's another
My buddy Frank
legendary
did. I used to
place.
work at the Golden Star.
Yeah. Oh, we got to talk about that place too.
Yeah. So, anyways, Idolo and Michael Franco,
Yeah.
they used to ride their bikes from Steele's all the way to Shepherd and back on Willowdale.
Yeah.
And I remember, Idolo! We used to come by. Zitte, put talo sanga te mamma. They used to swear at us, right? Put talo sanga. That means throw up blood.
Yeah.
In LaFranco, you heard about his son. He was the son in Gotti movie, sorry.
Yeah.
When John Travolta played John Gotti,
Yeah.
he had a son in the movie.
Yeah.
That was Michael Franco's son.
Right.
In the movie.
In
Yeah.
the movie.
Oh, he's
Okay.
famous.
See, everybody came from Young and Steele's. Young and Steele's had never tutto quando.
A lot of famous people.
We're the original fire pit.
The fire,
Yeah,
the
the
fire
fire
pit.
pit.
Young and
Yeah.
Finch.
Young and Finch was the original fire pit. You remember that place?
Sandwich place.
The burger, and every time you go in there, one greasy,
Yeah.
juicy fries.
Yes.
Those
Yeah.
Greeks in there, they were like another.
Well,
So Bianca, so there's any stories about the cooks? Did they ever mess around with the food or anything?
there was a guy named Pasquale and his wife, and their daughter actually married Howie Mandel's brother.
Steve.
Yeah, the Italian girl.
Yeah.
And I remember we weren't allowed to have two dinners because we're working it. Or pizza or spaghetti.
That's all.
You couldn't have veal. Pasqua, put some onion on the veal. Or pizza or spaghetti, he used to say to me. So that's all we ate. right?
Yeah.
And Dominic Kelsey used to work there too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one time Dominic had two things of sauce, right?
Yeah.
And they had to carry it down, and the stairs were steep back in those days.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the sauce everywhere.
Ta-ta-dum.
Out comes the other chef, Tony, going to go to man. Just stuck on the cold. He started mad at him because he made all the sauce. He thought
Yeah.
I remember Bianca would go downstairs like Pisha.
Oh, yeah.
We all put a hole in there to see inside.
To see when she would take
Come
a
on. No, you
I swear to
didn't.
God.
You put a hole in the
yeah.
bathroom where she go
Well,
pee?
back then, the bush, you can plant tomatoes during the summertime, right? and we look inside, I go, and she go, get out of here. And she would like slap her hand on where the hole was.
Hold on. She saw that there was a hole there? And
Yeah.
she was okay with you guys watching her
You
pee?
didn't care.
Take a
But
peek.
back then at bush, you couldn't see anything back then.
Yeah, there was a
No, you can't. Yeah.
Yeah, then they made it look like they went to the Marines.
Yeah.
The Marines look.
Yeah, the Marine
The
look.
landing strip.
The strip, yeah.
And then it went to like a baby look now.
Well,
right?
those
What do you
days.
prefer? What do you prefer?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, back in those remember those days you'd make that noise? if we were poof, right?
Why? Because
Get stuck.
Yeah. You heard about Michael Douglas, eh?
Mike Douglas, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, I don't.
He's got something wrong with his throat. You know from what?
What happened?
It was in the news. Come going down on women.
No,
No, you're
Isaac,
lying.
Come on.
Check the newspaper, Google
that's
it.
a
But
re-
how? But he died. He's still alive or
alive.
died?
He's still alive.
He's still alive. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you?
that's
Lippi
a-
Shocker van de Ski for Putin.
No, that tells you that that's a protein with la bosa. When you know, extra protein.
I don't know. I think that yeah,
We're all over the map.
that's
Oh,
a
yeah, no,
wiener
we-
story.
okay.
That's we call a wiener story.
Yeah.
It's an urban myth that he got because
Yeah. Back in those days. Remember?
Oy.
Remember those
Sounds
days?
like a
No,
cat.
do you remember those days?
Those are beautiful days.
Yeah.
Now it's like, hey, mom, okay, get up, hurry up. Like, okay, it's a day. You know what I mean?
Times have changed, Claudio. You have to understand. La società, that we know la società, the society, that you change them up a little bit now.
Yeah.
First of all, people don't have no time.
Yeah.
Now, nobody has the time. Everybody's in a hurry. I got to
you're
go
right,
there.
you're right.
They got a communication. They got a
Yes.
cell phone. They got a
Yes.
computer. You
Yes.
could talk to somebody on your phone in Australia where you're in New York City,
Oh, God.
like that, right?
Yeah, you're
Still,
right.
it's not enough for people. Why? Because
Yeah.
they're greedy. If people take more time like before,
Yes,
when you
yes.
have the sex and relax and do the foreplay,
Yes.
or the five play, whatever you enjoy yourself, and then you do this thing oral sex. It's okay.
Yeah, you're
When
right,
You don't
you're
have
right.
time. Then after you finish, you gotta wash up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's in a porco.
You're right.
Am I right?
That's
See
right.
what
That's why. That's how the men are dressed up as women now.
You see what happened?
Then la pays and they run a pisha,
That's-
right?
What do you mean, la palapesa?
Like they put on a dress and from underneath they say
Oh,
la
you
pala-
mean the sack? It's gonna go long.
I don't know what the pala pays. What the
Palapesa.
Like the hanging
when
balls.
The balls hang.
hanging balls.
Palapesa. Yeah.
is that what it's called?
It's called palapesa. Yeah, hanging balls.
Yeah, the hanging
And that's why the Scottish guys, they smart.
Yeah.
They wear the skirt,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
kilt, they
Yeah.
call it, right?
Yeah.
The kilt and the lipali, when they hang, it's no matter. Because you know how you tighten that up? They
back of
play
the-
the bagpipe. Wing, 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 wing. That's why they feel okay.
Oh, the good old days, though.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's
We
just.
we did. We used to work at the Golden Star too. Remember the
Okay,
Golden
so
Star?
the Bianca's. When did you stop? How old did you stop working there?
We let me tell you a story. One night, I never
Yeah.
forget. We were dressed in white jackets. My brother and I were going home. My brothers, sir. And
the
then
grease
we're
on the
walking on
pocket.
Madawaska, and it was a foggy night. Never
Did you have
forget.
oil on the pocket of the white jacket?
Yeah.
So the white, you mean the busboy
Yeah,
jackets?
we kept them on, right?
Yeah, right, you kept
And I remember we walked home, and then all of a sudden it's a foggy night, and a car's following us. True story. All of a sudden, and then back in those days, a lot of driveways had stones. They weren't even paved, stone drives, right?
Yeah, driveway, yeah.
So we ran to Capacha's house because it's on the way home.
Kabocha.
And the back was back in those days, the dogs was left outside. They had a dog named Betcha.
Yeah.
You got
I remember
Chichi
Betcha.
Was it German Shepherd?
Yeah.
was a
So we're
mutt.
hiding in the back because
He
they
was
see
a
this
mutt.
car approaching us slowly. What if they wanted to kidnap us? I don't know. These two guys with white jackets on, 1, 2 in the morning and foggy night. And all of a sudden you hear the stones cracking like in the driveway. And then they left. And then we ran home. But we never told our parents back then, right? But see how dangerous it was back then in the 70s? This is like in the 70s, or 71,
Yeah,
72.
Oh, yeah.
Elvis Presley was still alive then.
Elvis, yeah, I remember you, a hound dog.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so you guys, so Serge, your brother worked there too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all worked there.
I think everybody. It's funny. Like all the people that I know in the neighborhood, they all worked in those restaurants, but I didn't work there. I don't know. I was doing music or something.
You've been music. See, yeah, I remember. Tell them about the picture I took of you. I was the only one that brought a camera. Back then, I brought a camera. Nobody else did. And I took a picture, a nice
Kodak?
picture of him. I can't remember what it was. I think it was a Kodak.
Yeah.
But nobody else took a picture. And
Nobody.
he saw, I go, I got to get that picture from you. I was the only one that took a picture of him. We're on Bathurst, and it was a...
I don't know. I'm talking about back in this mid 70s when we played the last.
Yes.
We were doing weddings and 14 and 30. I never worked at the restaurants, or I never worked in
No, he
those
never did.
places. Golden Star.
Yeah, Golden
But anyway, Golden Star is a great story because that's another everybody. It was like you got promoted.
Yeah.
And you went to work just down the street at the burger place,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
you must have some great stories about
so
that
the
place.
story behind that is that there was a guy who used to come. There was a Black Diamond rider, and he used to come there with the chains on, ching to ching, and come in and get him burgers, right? So he bought himself a Hearst. This guy, true story.
A what?
A Hearst, like for a coffin. To put
Oh, your hearse, yeah.
So he put side pipes on it back on this because
Holy
Thursday nights was hot at night. My dad got to know him. He didn't remember my dad was a joker. So my dad got to know him, and he lived in the Young and Seals in Willowdale area. So he goes to he knocks on the door. I need a lift. The guy goes, well, where you want to go? I want to see if my buddy's dead yet. What buddy? So my dad gets in the car with him. They went to El Duce's house, De Cerbos.
Yeah.
And he was a very nervous man.
Who
So
was- De
imagine
Turbo
going
was
to
a
the
nervous
house with a Hearst, and then you go knock on the door, and the guy opens, he looks in his driveway, he sees a Hearst, and my dad goes, are you dead yet? Si pronto. Mom. He goes like this to him, like this, like they got mad at him like with the horns. Remember the horns?
Yeah, bad luck. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Protection.
so he didn't talk to my dad for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. He
Why?
was mad
Because
at
he
him.
was playing. Well, so I don't get. He went there with the hearse to make him look.
Like,
are
you
ready
dead.
for-
And
ready-
El Duce took it like, oh, di mom, like take a look on. Like,
order,
yeah.
right. Yeah. The
When
malocchio.
you seen a Hearst in your driveway, like, you ready?
Are you ready?
And then the guy
Side
went back,
pipes.
and he goes to my dad. He goes, "You're a funny guy." So he brought my dad back home, whatever. But he was like a well-known guy at the Golden Star, the guy with the Hearst. Right?
So, but what did you do at the Gold Star?
Him?
No, what did you do there?
Oh, we were the guys that flipped the burgers. So it was me, Ange, Serge.
And who? Grassi?
Yeah.
Holy
Grassi,
shit! All you guys used to
Vic
work.
Grassi.
Yeah.
And then we were getting sick of the food, and so we used to switch foods with Tony's Pizzeria. So they give us pizza, and we give them burgers and fries.
Oh, trade.
Did
Yeah, we used to
Mr.
trade.
Stella know that
Huh?
you guys were doing this?
Oh, yeah.
The owner?
It's like one of the pizza we used to get over back in those
Free
days.
pizza and spaghetti most of the
I
time.
remember we used to go to the restaurant there, and the gnocchis were more expensive than the spaghetti.
Of course.
So the owner would come and check our plates when we were there. Goes, okay, see spaghetti. Okay, you bring it to the table. Meanwhile, underneath the spaghetti is all the gnocchis. It was a bowl. He didn't
The
realize it.
disguisation.
Oh, siamo fregati pure qui. They were called the Tony's Pizza. Anyways, it was a beautiful place. There was very garlicky, the pizza, very
Yeah.
garlicky, right? And then they opened up Dante's. They took the same ingredients.
From Tony's.
Yeah, exact same ingredients, right?
But there was a scene in I think Casino.
Yeah.
Where the cops come and they get the sandwiches and the guy goes,
Yes.
he spits in the sandwich.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
that ever happen did you back there with the Tony's Pizzeria?
There was a guy named Fanfone, Tony, poor guy, may rest his soul.
Oh, he just passed too.
Guida,
Holy
na ba?
shit.
Tsaka ba,
Tony Fanfone, yeah.
Now what he's mixing the dough for the pizza that Pichel get in because we need more water. At that not Pichel, right?
He did.
I didn't eat pizza for like the longest time in
you
there.
thought Pete from Pete from the
Or Pete from Beaver Bread.
Beaver
yeah.
bread.
Yeah.
He'd make
He used to make a Danish with his
Danish.
nut and clean him up a little bit.
That's worse.
Hey,
That's worse. I pishad in the dough, right?
yeah, they didn't have cameras back then, so you got away with
Of
everything.
course.
Like,
Hey,
yeah, right?
Sure.
Well, nowadays we got the camera.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
I heard that there's Uber sometime. Those people over there,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
poo-poo on your food. They
Yeah,
spit
yeah,
on your
When they deliver it.
There was one incident. Frank Franzese worked there, and he's making a pizza.
another
There was
guy.
some important guy goes, "Come and see us how we make pizza." So he's on the back, and he's making this pizza. About this cockroach. So before the guy started covered up with sauce, is making the pizza. So now you don't see the cockroach anymore. It's a true story. Then he put this and that. Culeta mangia la pizza after he's all cooked in. He's in the pizza. Tastes good. Remember, there's a cockroach that was cooked with it too.
Well,
Back in the
Why
cockroach.
did he take
Yeah.
it out?
You see, this is what happened over here.
We're
see.
young.
But you see how nothing has changed.
No.
Now those people over there, WF, Klaus Schwab, he's saying, and those guys, Bill Gates, everybody is supposed to eat the crickets.
Yeah.
So in those days, we had the cockroach and the
Yeah.
pizza. It's a
Yeah, yeah.
flavor.
Yeah.
The margherita with the cockroach.
They were ahead of their time.
Extra stagione con the
Yes,
cockroach.
yes,
Extra
yes.
protein, right?
They were way ahead of their time.
Yeah.
Holy
Yes.
shit! Now they wanted people to eat bugs.
Yeah.
Back-
Oh, yeah. It's I saw that at the exhibition. a restaurant. They're serving bugs. People lined up for it.
Remember,
Bugs.
Legacy
When?
bacon, eh? They're people crazy, eh?
At the food court about before
No,
the
they
pandemic.
did not.
I swear to God.
They eat bugs.
Those grasshoppers. There was that. Honestly,
the
there's a lot.
food court. Get the-
You got to look at the people. Come on, purple hair, green hair. The shade. The say pierced ears, pierced the pinch. Like those are the people that are eating in line. Pierced. Everything's pierced, right? These are
You could hang a fucking shower curtain.
Oh, my God.
Hey?
They have little bells over here. Ding, 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 ding. The little bells, right? So, anyways,
Holy
so
Christ.
Tuna's Pizzeria was out for the longest time, and they were one of the first ones to deliver pizza. They all had, there was a picture one time they all had Volkswagens back in those days. Blue,
yeah.
red, green.
bug.
What a concept.
Bug.
Yeah.
I sound like a,
All the Volkswagens, they were, like the bugs, yeah.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, out of something happened, and they started doing this and that. Then they had one of the biggest houses too up in. They lived in Thornley area.
Oh, yeah. The famous,
Big
eh?
houses, right?
That's in North Toronto, in Canada, eh?
Yeah, and Mr. Starr lived across the street from my mom's house. They were on Willowdale.
Willowdale, yeah.
One night they got robbed. One night, they were coming home. They had the blue 1970 Cadillac, light blue.
Beautiful.
Dude Gundin is coming home with his wife. They follow him in the garage. They took the money from. They had a bag of money back in those days, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sure, it was all cash. They
Yeah.
did cash. They did nothing but cash.
No.
And I guess people got wise, and
Yeah.
they know that, hey, you're coming home with a bag of cash every day, and they
Yeah.
got robbed, eh?
Then he was such a nice guy. He would after work he'd take us all the way to Yonge and Sinclair to eat apple pie at Fran's.
Oh,
It's
the
called-
best. Remember Fran?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had
Apple
a famous
pie.
apple pie
Yeah.
and strawberry rhubarb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we took all the way
Friends,
down there
wow.
with the Cadillac.
Wow.
I thought I got a chicada the zone. He was tired. He hit the curb to be on, you see the tires going like this out because he keep hitting the curb.
Yeah.
He was tired, Mr.
Who,
Starr.
Mr. Starr? Yeah.
Is that how you drive? He used to say because everybody thought he was Jewish, but he was Italian. He sent that picture of him. He looks
Oh,
Jewish.
yeah, Italian. Well, not much difference.
Well, the name
really.
like Mr. Starr, we used to say
Mr.
that.
Starr.
But
Stella.
his last name was Stella, though, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Stella. Yeah.
So we went all the way to eat the apple pie, come back home. I remember we ate all the apple pie, but this is like 1, 2, 3 in the morning.
Nice, yeah. Famous. Yeah.
They were 24 hours, friends.
Yeah.
People don't know. There used to be these great little diners called Fran's
Yes.
and Fuller's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuller's Diner. There was one at
Yeah, back in
Wilson.
those days, even like the Golden Star, they used to be open to 3, 4 in the morning. That's when everybody was drugged up and Briaga come in, have a burger, please, right? Tut and Briaga. I remember one guy, we were rushing it. Serious true story. We forgot to put the patty in there. I swear to God, I'm not lying. I go, whose patty is this? We forgot to put the patty in. The guy left. He was stoned. He comes back in, hey, man, that was a good burger, man. I have another one. Meanwhile, poor guy didn't have the burger in the first place. He had the ketchup and the relish, all that stuff, but not the burger.
Not the burger.
So we felt bad.
He came back. He was still
Yeah.
hungry.
So we felt bad. We go, buddy, I'm going to give you a double burger. Yeah, meanwhile, he paid for it already. Yeah, you guys are cool, man. And my ugly burger. He had, back in those days, they were all stoned, everybody.
Yeah, everybody's stoned, yeah.
But that's the best time to serve them,
Oh, yeah.
right? And we're up at 2, 3 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, they're about the third generation. Third generation took it. They got executive hours at 10 o'clock.
No,
and
they
give
can't
them.
do it.
10 o'clock executive.
Oh, yeah.
Close them up.
Oh,
We close
my
at 10
God.
o'clock and just have a cookies all day.
Yeah, oh
That
my
place
God.
opened in the mid-50s.
But it's worth the fortune there, eh?
Eh?
Especially they were offered millions of dollars because they want to put a condo there.
Yeah,
now.
they sold it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Don't
sold
catch it there.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
sold it.
problem.
But that thing opened. I remember going there when you could drive. There was only drive-in. You drive
Yes.
up, and
Yes.
it was just a one little place. You couldn't really eat
Yeah,
inside.
yeah.
That's right.
They never had a drive-through. It's funny.
No, drive-in. Like there
You're
was
right.
only like 3 or 4 seats
Yes.
there. Like
Yeah.
benches. Then they expanded.
Yeah.
Then expansion.
So one night, Angelo and my brother were outside. We had to clean the garbage.
Yeah.
So these bums right there, right? So Angelo goes to the guy. He better watch out his brother. He knows karate. I didn't know he said that. I was inside cleaning it up. So I come outside. They're going, "Come on, man. What can you do?" It's 2 in the morning. I go to Angelo.
Hold on. Who's saying that to you?
Angelo said to these two bums.
Oh, there's some bums outside.
He's got a brother inside because they were getting bothered. They were cleaning the garbage. And he
Right,
goes, he knows black belt. I didn't know he said that. So I come out, they're going, soon I go outside, I go, what's going on, guys? There's 2 Boomba Jumanji
Yeah, okay.
long hair up there. They,
Yeah,
look
yeah.
like, they look like the guy from Meatloaf, both of them.
Yeah,
Remember
fats,
Meatloaf? Yeah.
The guy from
Meatloaf?
Meatloaf?
From Meatloaf.
Not, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy from Meatloaf.
Too good.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Get good, yeah.
and they goes,
Pork.
they go to me, come on, man, see what you got. I look at Angie. What did you see them in Italian? He starts laughing at it. He goes, come on, man, they're going like this to me, like this.
Yeah.
I kept going, "Nah." I kept going like this to scare them. They're going like this. I got scared, right? Yeah. They ended up leaving. They thought I knew karate. I go, my aunt, don't ever do that again. I'm going to get killed, right? So It was a beautiful incident. Like it was like you know,
Must have been, yeah. You almost get killed.
So how old? Like how old are you then? Like this was.
we were like 18 then.
so you're talking mid 70s.
Yeah. Do you remember that story? The story when we played hockey at Young and St. John's Street.
Yeah. That Thornhill Arena.
We were just talking about the two Pajita brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we left playing, working. So we had to play hockey.
Yeah.
At 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
And-
Just to give them some color to it, so we would rent since we're grade 10, we
Yes.
would rent the ice every
Yeah.
Friday night.
Shinny.
Yeah, and it was just like it was so like intense though. It wasn't just like shinny. Like we were into it, and we all sucked bad, but we all thought
Yeah.
we were good. And then we would rent. I said midnight. We would be playing hockey
Yes.
at 1 o'clock. They don't do, nobody does any of that stuff
No.
today. So we'd work,
Yeah.
do your thing, go play hockey at
Play
1
hockey.
o'clock in the morning.
You know what I remember about the hockey Italian guys? We're Italian people, right? We could talk it
Yeah.
open.
Oh yeah.
So they have Italian hockey league, right?
Yes.
One night, my friend, he married to my wife, a cousin. He goes, I come and watch me St. Mike. Which, St. Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Buster and St. Clair.
Yes.
So we go Buster and St. Clair, St. Mike. They got a nice Calabria. Oh, I was happy, Calabria. Oh, yes, the city, we're going to watch a nice hockey.
Yeah.
Italian people, they got intensification when they play, right?
Yeah.
The first 2 minutes, they drop the puck, bing, bing, Cazzotti, pugni. One guy almost take a knife, defenseman step at the left wing guy. Ooh, Cazzotti. A whole night, the penalty box was full. More people in the penalty box than the spectator.
Yeah. Oh.
I'll just tell that story.
They had that Fort Lee, that Puglia, Calabria.
That's what he's talking about.
And
Yeah.
Lazio
Abruzzi.
and Nick Lapone played for Puglia.
Yeah.
Puglia, mangia che say Puglia.
Yeah.
Puglia, yeah. That's what they said, Puglia.
And it's getting back to the hockey thing. One time we were excited because we knew one guy that worked in Maple Leaf Gardens.
Yeah, oh, famous.
Right? So we can't remember. So we left the arena
Yeah.
with skates on too, some of us. I was driving with my skates on because we were excited. All the Maple Leaf Gardens.
How do you say skate in Italian? Do you know?
The skeets.
I don't know.
That's it.
How do you say skeets?
The skates, yeah.
It's skeets.
And they call it the skizzarini.
Yeah. So we get there and we put in that Rafka Poch.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not even a goalie.
You're
Big
at
head.
Maple Leaf Gardens.
Yeah.
Goalie.
So they sat us on the visitors, and they sat on the other. So we had to play against the ushers that worked there. Man, it was different ice. And we lost like 15-1. I think we got 1 goal.
Oh, my God.
And Vic Rossi got into a fight, but he didn't have the right gloves back in it. We didn't work to the farm. Those back in those days,
Poor
everything was
people.
used that we bought.
Yeah.
He had those gloves on that had the fake fur inside. The ones you go shopping with. I don't know. You carry a briefcase with
Yeah.
back in those days.
Yeah, yeah.
Hold on a
see-
second. Not hockey gloves, just regular.
No, they weren't hockey gloves.
Regular
So
gloves.
you got to get into a fight, and like you said, right away, pocket up, and couldn't take the gloves off because they're sweating.
Hey.
Don't move. But you're Vic Rossi. Don't move. Okay, come on, man. Don't move. But you're Vic Rossi, right? They went to stop him, right? Remember Vic Rossi's father, Pasquale?
Oh, yeah.
He looked like Elmer Fudd.
Yeah. Elmer, that's what he looked like. Elmer.
So, anyways,
Do you remember Papit? Do you remember
Yeah.
Papit?
Oh, wow.
Half a
Back in our
mustache?
days.
Papit? Yeah,
Yeah.
half a mustache.
So-
It's like, won't he grow a mustache or what?
getting back to the Golden Star, there was a regular there. He was called Johnny Lennox, John Lennox, or something like Ryan Lennox. Sorry. Make story short, getting back to the hockey. When we came out one night, coming out, we hear Pajit yelling, "Hey, we need help!" And we're coming out of the arena, and it was Brian Lennox. Oh fuck! Out of all the guys, this guy's a street fighter back in those days. Munjagate,
Yeah.
big hands. Like, these guys are like,
Yeah.
oh, D mama. So, anyways, we're running over there with our hockey sticks, and they come around the car.
So who called for help?
Claudio Pajit.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And some other guy. They were swearing on Bayview.
Okay.
It was like 1, 2 in the morning at the red light, and then these Munjagakes wanted to beat him. So they ran towards us. We ran towards them. I go, oh, all the guys ran next. So they went after my brother first because he's 6'5". Dude, the butt here, let's go for the big guy. And me, I go, oh, these guys, I got to grab something. I grabbed the hockey stick, CCM hockey stick.
The best.
CCM.
Nice.
Wood.
Dude, and I swung and I hit the guy. Pum, pum. And my brother went like this because he had his hands on his head holding him. And the other 2 guys look like Meatloaf too also.
Hold on. But how did this fight? Just for random fight?
Yeah, because they wanted to fight. These guys are street fighters.
They just want to fight people.
So Sasso was there too. He forgot about karate. He took all these years of
Frank
karate.
Sasso,
Yeah, he took off. Right?
Yeah.
Pierre. Charlie DeSerbo was there too. So I had to stay there because I had to pick my brother. So I cut from here all the way down. Teachers that did the song, everything.
did?
I did. I
He
cut it.
smashed the
Oh,
guy
you
with
smashed
a
the guy.
CCM.
In
Oh,
his
okay.
head
I
because I'm
thought-
protecting my brother.
Okay.
My brother lost like I did too. My mom goes, and my mom started worrying about So he goes, la catena, ¿dónde está?
Oh, dear.
È per Gesù Cristo. No, definitely la catena.
Oh, dear.
He lost la catena. For Jesus Cristo, right?
Oh, dear.
And it was Lennox. They wrapped him up, and we took off to Massimo's yard. His dad had finished paving
Finch
back
paving,
then. Me, Sasso, and him. We were running on foot. Looked like a scene in a movie because everybody. Then my brother got in the car with their car, and they were playing chicken. You see the sparks everywhere.
No way.
My brother had a '71 Cadillac back then.
The best.
Remember the back those?
Get a best. Yeah.
They play chicken? Oh,
Yeah.
my
So, anyways,
gosh.
all the guys that went to the restaurant came running back to us because they figured, hey, the guys are in fight. All the people played hockey. By the time they got there, they were gone. The cops got there. We found a wallet. I remember the cop going, oh, yeah, Brian Lennox. You guys do anything? I go, sit tight. Don't say nothing. Because I don't know if I'm going to go to jail back in those days. Because it's okay. As long as you guys did something, it's okay, fine. So he took the wallet because you could see it was Brian Lennox. He apologized after, even I had stitches for me to hear, the day after he found out who we were. We were from the Golden Star. Oh my God, you guys are from the Golden Star. I'm so sorry. And they demolished Frank Franzizi's car. He had a Formula Trans Am.
Yeah?
They demolished it. They broke all the windows.
No way.
Yeah, they destroyed it, like they do today with the Telsa cars, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
what cars?
The
The
Telsa.
Telsas. Right?
Telsa, yeah. That's Elon Musk.
Yeah.
We could
So-
talk about that later, but tell
So
us.
Queen, they apologized. Anyways, the CCM, what they call it now?
What?
Claudio Coppola massacre. Because
Let's have a drink.
It was a CCM back then.
Yeah,
And those were,
was it left or right stick?
it was I'm righty.
You're
You're
right.
right. So
Yeah.
you swing a right, you smash
Oh,
a
I
couple
did.
of stitches.
Seriously, I'm not lying. I thought I was going to kill him by accident. Meanwhile, it broke the stick. That's made me stop hitting him. I was protecting my brother. That's all I was doing.
Yeah,
You
well,
have to
yeah,
protect
you have
your
And
to
these are
family.
street fighters.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
But see, the point is, this is a beautiful story for the people that listen to the show. You got to protect your family.
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah.
You kill him by accident or you kill him
by
intentionally. It's
accident, yeah.
irrelevant. You got to take care of your brother.
They bumped into him, apparently, Frank Salsa, but they went to Florida about 2-3 months ago. They recognized the guys. These are the guys with the sticks. Meanwhile, it wasn't Frank Salsa. Frank Salsa had the same jacket as me. They thought it was him. Man, anyways, he forgot about karate.
Quit.
Well,
Took all these years. He's a black belt, but that day he ran.
Yeah, well,
Right?
you know Frank.
A lot about it because the real fight's coming on now.
Oh yeah, real one.
They're
Yeah.
not sparring each other.
Yeah.
And these guys are street fighters. They don't feel pain.
Yeah,
They don't feel. You can punch them and they don't feel nothing.
Oh, but they don't have no brains. That's
My
why.
mom used to say, "Tinni mangia cake, kigli sa na mana, kigli." She used to say to me,
Yeah.
"Kigli for me." And my mom, I don't care. She used to start like more mad. I go, I hate mangia cakes now. I used to hate them
Yeah, I know.
because they wanted to fight all the time.
We were only a handful. Like we grew up in it's funny. Like that neighborhood we were in.
Yes.
Right. Young and Steele's area.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the Italians, where did they go when they came in? They went to Wilson and Kiel.
Yes.
They didn't go to the Young and Steele's. So there was just a very small group
Yes.
of us.
Yes.
And I used to get done in all the time with all the cakers used to beat me up and like and I don't do I look Italian? Holy crap!
No.
I'm blue eyes. What I
Yeah,
mean?
he didn't get talent. Not even his sister.
St. Clair different.
But
though,
the mangia cake, but I'm against.
Yeah, and then we still got beat up.
Yeah.
Oh, Caparelli, you're last. Compromise. Let's beat this guy up.
I did his brother's wedding.
The brother got married.
Yeah.
right?
Anyway, look,
Outdoor wedding.
yeah,
wedding.
that was in
Outdoor.
Oshawa, but I think it was in Oshawa.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Golden Star. Where did you work after that?
Well, from the Golden Star, then after, I ended up going to a place called Parker Brothers, where they used to make games. Oh, no, hold on.
I remember
We
those
went to
people.
CN Railways. We used to all work at Kiel and
but
Highway 7,
that-
where
yeah,
the railway
Okay,
tracks
so
are.
you guys didn't really go to school after that, right? Like,
No, we got out of school. Okay, okay. We had a drunk guy named, he was in Mr. Kisco, teacher. And you could smell the booze on him, seriously. Oh, yeah. We used to sit in the back.
What school? This is Newbrook.
This was Northmount then.
Northmount, yes. Junior high. That's like.
It's
yeah.
called something else now.
Yeah.
And we never studied. We always did in the back. We didn't care. I was lucky to get 1 out of 1 point every test that I did because I had my name on it. As long as I got 50%, I was happy. And I remember the teacher got mad at us. You guys wrecked my average. Right? I was a history teacher. You guys, all you guys, he's pointing out of us. Me, Frank, everybody, Ange, Serge, everybody. Because we got 1 out of 40, 1 out of 10. Like, just as long as
Because
you
you
got
put
your
your
name
name
on
on
Your
the
name on
test.
it.
So we wrecked her average. Like, in other words, so what was I going to say?
Miss Drunk, Kisco's drunk or
drinking,
something.
eh?
Oh,
Great
yeah.
teacher.
So he looked at the guy, I'll never forget. He goes, you know, you guys he just swear. God damn you guys, you come to school. I could see you guys are going to quit. And he should tell about, how the government wants, even back then. He goes, why don't you guys be goddamn butchers? Butchers? Want to be a butcher? We looked at each other. Want to be a butcher? Yeah. You guys are big. big enough. You know how much money they make these butchers? Start now. Don't go to school.
Nice.
And
This
he
is
was
like-
right.
And Northmount only went up to grade 9, so you're not.
But he was right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
They make a lot
And
of money.
brigava, you could smell the booze.
And so hold on. So grade 9, you're only what? You're only like 14.
14,
Yeah.
15.
So
yeah.
when-
It went from grade
Yeah,
7 to 9. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
then grade 10 you go Newtonbrook.
Exactly.
Yeah.
High
with,
school.
With the Newtonbrook after, right?
Famous, yeah.
That's where Gaddy. What's his name? The Rush guy used
Gotti
to.
Lee.
Gotti Lee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Back then, and then we got involved with chopping trees. You remember the whole story about we were called the Midnight Gardeners?
Yeah. Why don't you tell that story? The Midnight Garden. This is an
happened, Claudio?
interesting
What
story.
happened?
We were called Midnight Gardeners when we went to Newtonbrook.
So hold on. So you got into landscaping,
Yeah.
like as a job.
Yes, yeah. I was working with Riviera Assad, and Dino Chavila was my boss back then.
Yeah.
Okay.
4.2 million. He always had a cigarette. Somebody he had a cigarette in his mouth talking about 4.2, making deals all the time. Meanwhile, never had any deals. Anyways,
Yeah.
so we started working. We started going to school there. And then I remember the Jewish girl was criticizing us.
Why?
I can't remember what it was, but we said, we're going to fix this girl up. How are we going to do it?
She was making fun of the Italians, of course, because
I think we
Newtonbrook
should
was a
start
heavy
chopping
Jewish-
trees.
Yeah.
What? That's a good idea. And I had a Jewish girlfriend then. So I remember I was joking around, and about to hear a knock, you know. And I opened, I was at the Jewish girl's house, and then my friends, I look outside, there was Pat Nacarado. He had the Mach 3. It looked like a mob scene.
Beautiful.
Mach 3 Continental. Over there. Everybody was there. All of a sudden it goes, we're ready. For what? We're going to stop trees. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I remember my girlfriend back then goes, go have good fun with your friends. Back in those days, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I will. I left. They opened the trunk. It's in the Stomburger. They found an axe. I found a saw, scissors. Lester was with me too. So we went to the first victim's house.
What do you mean? How did you identify the victim? How did you target the house?
That was the girl that talked about us
Okay.
in school.
Yeah.
It was like, this is like
So-
the Manson killings.
Yeah,
eh?
so we went, there's about 20 of us guys walking through the field. Can you imagine? Like, some had an axe. Not all of us had tools. I had an axe. Lester had a saw. Ugo had the snippers. And one other guy had other. So, and Frank Franzese had two flares. He got from, we used to work at CN. And he ignite them and it would go off for 25 minutes. But red, looked like the devil.
Nice, like the devil, yeah.
So we would see the house, si pronto. And we were holding our laughs in.
Oh my
And you know, you
gosh.
spit, yeah. Okay. We spit on our hands, and we start. All of a sudden, I start smashing the tree, right? Ugo couldn't stop laughing. You see, merda, cagato sotto from laughing, really. Last year was going with a saw, it would get caught because it's a pine tree. It's, you know what I mean? And then another guy, and then Frank with the flare. So all of a sudden, 2 minutes go by, all of a sudden you see the blinds. Imagine seeing a bunch of guys out there doing landscape and the red glow.
Oh
All of a
my
sudden,
God.
you see, they had to look twice, maybe they thought they were dreaming. It was us. All of a sudden, so we laughed. So this went on for quite a while. You know how many houses we destroyed? Beautiful pian, the refuel.
Everything.
So one night we got bored, we went to Newtonbrook. We couldn't go anywhere else. We started chopping a tree there. And then people coming, we had one more chop to do when it went down. It was
One
a
more
big
chop.
What did
Yeah.
you do with the tree when it was chopped? Just leave it?
We leave, they fall down. We did our job. But these trees are like there for years.
Famous.
Can you imagine how they would be in jail right now?
Jail.
So you call this midnight landscaping?
We would call midnight landscapers after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then we took out all the tools from my mom's garage. I guess the pots, right? And I remember, one time, I can't remember, somebody got us out for real,
Somebody shit
from
the
laughing.
pants.
So they went to my mom's garage and they threw the underwear inside the bush.
On the bush, yeah.
So the day after, a nice hot day, my mom goes inside the garage. You hear all flies everywhere. She looks in and she goes, comes to me, "Che cagate nel bush?" Oh, it was in the bush new. She wanted a new bush because back then the bushels were like gold to them.
Oh, yeah.
But that's all you hear, flies, because it was a hot garage, right? They put something in merda. So we had to get, and then we had to get a new bush for my mom, for my poor mother.
You have to.
we had to.
Replacement, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I wasn't a pots back then. He knows how it was.
Wow. Midnight landscaper.
Yeah.
Remember
That-
all those apples I threw one time?
Hold on a sec. So that would have been, you guys were what, 18,
18.
17?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did that today.
Yeah,
I mean, We used that whole incident, that whole midnight. The couple of franchises were created from that, So other kids would copy that and go do. Some of them actually planted trees. And not only chopped them down, they would uproot them.
But these are nice trees. They were there like for years. These the Jew. They don't do this all back on the days. Right?
From the old
We follow their footsteps. Now Newton resolved this, and we give it to the kids now, right?
Change it up a little bit.
But
it's funny. It's karma too is bad. So I remember we had a band, like we were 15, and we had a wedding band, and we're playing local weddings, and we played La Festa and, over there in the summer, but we needed lights,
Yeah.
So floodlights and Christmas lights, and we needed lights to light up our stage. So we would go, the 5 of us would get into a car, we'd go out, and we'd go in the neighborhood, like 14 years old, 15 years old. We'd go in. I think Tony D was the only guy that none of us had license, but he would take his father's car and just drive it because he looked like he was 30. Of course. So anyway, we'd take the lights. We stole floodlights. We just grabbed lights, and even Rocco Coppola chopped us one night, and we're stealing lights, floodlights, and we would build our own light show.
Beautiful.
So this is how karma works. So obviously, I may fast forward maybe 15 years later.
Yeah.
I own a house not far from my neighborhood in Thornhill, and it's the first Christmas, and I do this beautiful light show. I spend a fortune on lights, wrap trees, floodlights. Somebody came and fucking stole them all. It's like, what the? I come out one night, the lights switched to turn them on. Where are all the fucking lights?
The midnight landscape
And
is hit
somebody
again.
stole all my lights and paid me back for the lights I stole.
Oh, yeah.
Then one night, it's a true story too. I don't know what made us do it. We went to a theater.
Yeah.
1970's, everybody. There's over 10 of us.
Movie.
About here, pum! We look on the wall. Somebody threw an egg at us. One of our guys did. Oh, yeah.
Threw an egg at you.
So all of a sudden, I got involved after. So we started doing a contest where a game where 2 cars and go get eggs and bomb each other with eggs, like each other.
Of course.
So I was the driver for Mondique's car.
What did he have back then?
Some Chevy that blue one, I'll never forget.
Yeah, like a Grand Prix or
So
something.
I was the driver, and so we go to the nearest variety store to get eggs. And then we start playing the games. So I was the driver, drop off the guys, we're young, and, Willowdale, hit the butt, you hear the eggs and stuff like that. It was getting out of hand that we were buying so many eggs. It went on for about a week, this game. Took the eggs on it, so you see the shells. I remember Pat Nacarado. Mm-hmm. Back then, he was running on the rooftop, looked like a fugitive, trying to get away from the people throwing eggs.
David Johnson.
Guns on those things that made out of metal. Back in those days, there were metal garages.
Yeah.
Sheds in the backyard.
I remember.
And he had to run all the way to the billiards. Back then, we had a billiards. Remember the billiards?
Yeah.
Oh, the story behind that.
Martis, yeah, we have to talk about
the
that.
Marti, we used to call it.
Yeah.
So anyways, it was getting out of hand, and then I remember I got caught in a corner. They knocked on the window. Come on, these are the rules. I had to open the window. They threw a whole dozen eggs on top of the dash of Mondique's car. It wasn't my car. Okay, you can close the window now. Anyways, we had to go. They had a car wash on Young and Steele's back. Remember the power car wash?
Yeah. Famous.
We had to go there. By la pousse of the eggs, you can never get rid of.
Oh, you can't.
Once it hits your dash or whatever, you put the air conditioner on, la pousse it off, you would every day.
It's a fart
Go
forever.
Mondique. And it all seeped inside. Even if with the power wash, it
Disaster.
didn't work.
Who made the teams? Who were on the teams? Like the 2 teams? Or is it one?
Yeah. Phil Batiste ran out of eggs. He went in his backyard. He has chickens. He took the eggs from the chicken. And your father comes in, sta gallina, I just got sta gallina because they're not making eggs anymore. He wanted to kill the chickens.
That's
poor
right. We all had chickens back then in our neighborhood. You know,
we had chickens and pigeons back in
chickens
those
and
days.
Oh,
pigeons,
my
yeah.
God. So
And
the
then-
chickens are go on strike.
Stole the,
yeah.
They're striking
the
They're
father
scared.
said, "What's going on with these chickens? Not making eggs anymore."
Kill them.
Yeah, we had pigeons and chickens. Remember, we used to compete?
Oh,
Oh,
Padre
fuck yeah.
Piccioni.
I had rolling pigeons, and then Chaville had the homing pigeons.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Back in those days, we used to show off. We had the most pigeons and that kind of stuff. Hey, it was a good old days, man.
Yeah,
yeah.
The stuff that we
pigeons,
did, how we grew up.
Yeah.
pigeons, chickens. Imagine having chickens and pigeons nowadays.
They stopped us. We had Canali had a sheep, a lamb there. Had fucking
Yes. Yeah.
next door to my
Yeah, they would have lambs. And then you look, see, is a pezza capozotto in the garage, do the song. I go, oh, isn't that the lamb that they had for a pet? It's upside down. They're killing it now. So that's gonna
Grill.
The Kickers lost their minds.
Yeah.
That's why they banned it in Willowdale. I think
Yeah.
they banned it because the 20 Italians that live there. They banned it for everybody in North York.
One time I made poor Ted get in trouble. Ted Disturb, he knows what it is. So he used to live.
How did Ted is
He was young. When my dad was alive, my dad was a joker. And he used to always swear at their daughter. Ted was a young kid. And my dad would look at him, because we lived across each other. There's a street, and we live in the corner. So my dad yelled at Theodore, Theodore, there's stuck in the corner. And Theodore go in the backyard and get those, there was like a round, sharp thing for the weed.
Cut him up.
And he'd go like this to my dad, there's stuck. And he just started, poor guy, there's stuck in the corner. And he almost cut his own neck.
Hold on, what was that? He stuttered. Who stuttered? Who
Ted.
stuttered? So who's saying? Ted, say that
Poor
again.
guy, right?
Ted's saying, I'm going to cut your
Yeah,
throat?
but he almost cut his own neck by doing that to go to my
yeah.
mom, right?
Yeah.
So one time he couldn't get cigarettes, poor guy, Ted. He used to smoke at, he was like 6 years old.
Yeah, I started too young.
He just spit like I remember that spit he used to have, like this, right? So he stole cigarettes from his grandfather. He wouldn't give it to him.
No.
So apparently he hit his grandfather in the back with a 2x4. Tum! Like this, right? He took the cigarettes and he came to my house at 4 miles.
Hold on, Ted hit his grandfather
Yeah.
with a 2x4?
Yeah.
Holy
So,
shit.
hey.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I remember Lydiana, his sister's looking for him. You see my brother? And you see the other making those donuts.
Yeah.
And I bought Lydiana, saw him. Poor Theodore took off. Like, he's the sweetest guy now. Like, he's like,
of
the
course.
crazy.
Yeah,
and
But he was a psycho too,
Yeah.
that guy. Oh
But
my
back in those days, poor guy used to. So one time I told him to go in his father's garden and throw everything on top of Madawaska. And it was ready to harvest corn, pomaral, cucumbers. You imagine you see on Madawaska all these vegetables thrown from the garden. Back then we had a big garden. Arriva di Padre Ragazzi, his father goes, Teodoro, there's stoccoli. And he grabbed a boulder and he threw it like a bowling ball, like Fred Flintstone did. You know?
No.
Oh yeah, on Madawaska. It almost hit him too, like the precision they had back in those days.
Oh, yeah, accurate.
But a boulder, like a rock,
Yeah.
right? And he goes, and he's trying to hit Teodoro with this thing. Right? Poor Teodoro got in trouble because of me. Can you imagine like all your vegetables are ready to harvest? It's all middle of
Why
Madawaska.
would he throw it in the middle of the street?
I made him do it.
Oh, I see. Why did you make him do it?
With pots back then.
Yeah, okay, pots, yeah.
No explanation.
Imagine Tony goes, you haven't changed. So you can go to pots, imagine. But that's how we grew up back in Willowdale, young as
Oh,
two.
no, I think those days, all Italian guys that age,
And
they're
just about.
crazy.
Yeah.
You guys grew up in Willowdale. I know, tough for you guys, but you guys made a strong impression for the Toronto. People were scared of your area.
Oh, yeah.
We were St. Clair boys, different. Everybody
Yeah.
was scared of us.
It was
in
different
St. Clair.
story, yeah.
Different story. But you guys,
Yeah.
just a few guys, you make them
Football.
like, hey, little drop.
Oh yeah,
hockey?
They were scared. They were afraid of a. I was never like. Unfortunately, not fortunate. I mean, I took a different path.
Yeah.
You know,
different.
I went. I was. Different paths. So I.
Yeah, Tony was never really around. He was more like in the music, that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
I wasn't really around. I was doing my thing.
Claudio, he's a good spokesperson for that
Yeah,
group.
and my brother too. He was part of that. There was a younger generation.
Yes,
Those-
yeah.
They were generational, but people didn't mess around.
He really pots. I was the pots.
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
People didn't mess around. with
Remember that
youngsters.
poor guy passed away? I was good friends with Nick Garino. He used to play hockey too. Nick
He was a
Garino.
pilot.
He was a pilot.
Yeah.
Like a
In
from Air
1981,
Canada.
He crashed at
he was driving a
Pearson.
cargo DC-3 and
Yeah.
it went like this to plane and down. He ended up dying. He was only 21 years old. He died.
Yeah, he was. He wanted to be. He was so excited about being a pilot.
Yeah, he wanted to be Air Canada pilot.
And he was
that's
following.
too
Yeah, DC-3 cargo. They didn't strap the cargo down well enough. So when he took off, the load shifted. The plane stalled.
Him and the other pilot, Mort. We were the pallbearers.
Yeah,
Pallbearers. what do
I
you call
remember that. I remember that.
And I was in
Yeah.
the front newspaper of the Sun newspaper. You still picture me. There was Phil Batiste, Angelo Grassi, Frank Franzisi. And then they made me hire the guys. And I even hired one of his friends who flew a helicopter back in those days. So we came out of St. Pascal's Church.
Tough, yeah.
And they go, there's the pilot. It crashed in Milton. That's how far it went. In Milton.
Well, that's
yeah.
where. They left from Malton and
Yeah.
from not too far.
Poor guy.
That's
Young guy.
bad. That's bad. When you have the,
I remember that day. I remember the funeral. Everything. I mean, he was a hockey player too. He was a good
Yeah, he was a
defenseman.
good hockey player. He had a BMW. I remember a nice BMW.
He was he was really on the way up, and unfortunately,
very young. Poor guy.
That's
Nick Green was his name. And then I remember his dad was selling all his hockey equipment out there. People were buying all his hockey stuff.
Yeah.
Of course.
And he lived near Angelo Grassi.
Yeah.
And Ella Valente.
Yeah, right on
lived on
Tavistock.
Tollbrook, was it called?
Or,
Tollbrook?
something like that.
And then-
Anyway, so it's unfortunate with that, but so then we get to the age, I guess, when you're 20, 21, 22.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever go to Rooney's or
Rooney's?
Dance
that
club,
place?
yeah, dance, discotheque.
We had to go.
Or where would you
I
guys
used to go
go
to
to?
Rooney's, but I had no. I didn't
How
have
about,
no
the
two times
Canary
up together. I had
Cottage?
no money. Did the one then resolved, and I'd show up with a Jeep. But I parked the Jeep 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
Because the people with Ferraris in there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you one quick story.
About Rooney's?
Yeah, there was one rich guy.
So,
a
hold on.
Jewish guy.
Let's talk about Rooney's. Was a club at
Yes.
Yonge and Eglinton.
For
it
rich
was-
people.
For rich people, but a lot of pretenders.
And who owned it?
I hold on. I went once there,
Yes.
and I remember some guy try to pick up this girl, and he would open up his wallet, and 2 TTC tokens fell out of his wallet. Right? There's so many wannabes there, like pretenders. But anyway, Rooney's was a pretty famous high-end club at Yonge and Eglinton.
And who owned it?
I don't know who owned it.
Frank Stronach.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Frank Stronach.
He's 90 years old now.
I thought there was only Mickey Rooney owned that place.
No, that's
Frank
a different.
Stronach.
That's
Oh,
a
Frank
different-
Estrona.
I mean, that's a
We did
different
now. They're
Rooney's.
after him. He's 90 years old for what he did, and then the 70s.
The Magna guy.
Oh, man. He's a rich guy. Eh?
Yeah, and his daughter was supposed to be mayor of Newmarket and dated Domi.
Yeah.
Something with her
Oh,
and Domi.
yeah, the hockey player.
Yeah. Anyway,
Ty Domi.
what about your story at Rooney's? You
So
parked your Jeep
we were
because
regulars there. And I remember I didn't have 2 dams. Linjo used to come there. Aldo, we used to call him Linjo. There's a guy named Aldo Vitez.
Yeah.
Right. His brother was a cop, and he was selling cigarettes. He had cigarette vending machines.
Yeah.
And they were making a fortune back then. And Bic lighters they were selling. They made a fortune. Him and Ange Grassi. Right. So we were there one night, and there was a rich guy used to come there. He looked like Mr. T. Tutta catena. He had the Longines watch on.
Yeah.
So I got to fix this guy. We're from Willowdale, right? So we're ready to leave, and we had to leave. And all of a sudden, I put him in the car with me. He follows me, and I put him in the back seat with Frank Franzese. Frank didn't know. He looks in the back. Stefan Guist. Like, what's he doing? Right? To keep driving. Went to the Copacabana after, which is young and
Yeah.
Yorkville.
Yeah.
As we're going, Tutto la Catena come off because he fell asleep. He's in the back seat. I took the chain off, and I had a hard time taking the Longines off. I finally took it off. And I go, and then the off because he kept moving. The guy gave him a slap in the face. He wouldn't wake up. So we finally got him up. Took a while, and I had Tito Gadina in my hand, right? So we let him go, and I went to Valente's Jewelers, Young and Steels.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I know who's gonna buy that watch. It was a Longines. It was worth $8,000 back then, but it only gave me $2,000. All that stuff, $2,000. So I ended
Hold
up
on a
getting
sec. So you robbed this guy of his gold and his watch.
No,
And
they. Yeah.
Did you throw him on the street? What happened?
I was in style. Like now they break and leave. Now they smash and break.
No, hold on
Now-
a second. But you took the stuff at the Copa. Where did he go? Did he just walk out?
He left. We left.
He
on-
walked out?
He
Or
walked
you
out.
dro-
He went to the Copa by himself. We went back in the car. We went home, and then I go, Frank, it's okay. We're gonna split. We'll go to Acapulco. We're gonna do something with this thing, right? That's all back then. Anyways, I ended up going to Valente. Just gave me the money. Don't I see him a week after, full of chains again? I didn't touch him this time, but full of chains again.
Oh, yeah.
Same guy, like Mr. T.
Wow.
Tons of
Was he a
chains,
white
this
guy?
thing.
A white guy?
Yeah, it was a Jewish guy. I think it was a lawyer or something. He had a lot of money.
So
Remember
did you
that-
guys ever get lucky there? Did you ever pick up some girls there at Rooney's? Because
True story. One time I left, and it was 2 girls that came with me, and I was going, oh yeah, 2 girls. One's in the front, one's in the back. And I was driving a Jeep, and one leg get like this in front of my face as I'm driving. Lipir, everywhere, puzza pur lipir. It's more like Frida's corn chip back then. Frida's corn chip. So we finally get to her house. I'll never forget, I go, oh yeah, 2 girls, 2 going in, right? So all of a sudden, one goes in the bedroom, and the other one sits on the couch
where does it say? Your house?
at her house.
At her house. Okay.
So she goes, you want a sandwich? Sure. Back then, they like pastrami. Duty Jew, the pastrami with mustard.
Famous, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll have pastrami. I was hungry. So she shows me pictures. I dated an Italian guy. So she shows me a picture. I know him. So now I got to get out of here. I'm not going to stay here. Right?
Why, who was it?
It was Dominic Kelsey's ex-girlfriend. Really poor guy. I had to get 2 jobs to make get the gundand. And back then, he bought even a fur coat. Fur coats were big back then those days.
Yeah.
So anyways, she makes me a pastrami sandwich. And then she fell asleep. Minimal. Oh, yeah. Minimal. So I ate the pastrami sandwich till. The other one fell asleep in the bedroom too, and I left. I never saw them ever again.
Wow.
Never again. No, because I said, Tom Kelsey's ex-girlfriend. We have to respect that.
Yeah, that's good. You know, that's the
can't do that.
But I had the pastrami sandwich. It was good, though.
Did Rocco, did anybody ever make a move on your wife like that? Or
Oh yeah, a couple of guys that tried
Did they?
fool around my wife. Oh yeah.
Where?
Well, one time over Madison Square Garden, a fight over there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my wife is a front seat to all of my friend from Colombo family, you know, Genovese. I know a lot of those people, Tony. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
they're famous. So one guy, you know, I could tell a rich guy, he wear what those, you know, the fancy watch, Howard, what's it called? Taggart, you know, very famous watch.
Oh, okay.
tag,
Tag.
tag, yeah.
Maybe a watch, I gotta be a couple of $1,000 for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And he put an arm around my wife like this. Yeah, my wife is 6'3", 295.
Aye.
Right, you got to barb everything. So what happened? The fight started, bing, 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 bing. Then I hear one big sound of punch. Pa! I look over there. My wife had knocked him out. I didn't
Aye.
have to get involved.
That's good. Oh,
Yeah.
she was tough. Eh?
You know when you sit to a guy like this, right? He got an arm like this. You go like that. Like, leave it to the car. She said, you know, get away. Don't touch me. First time. But 10 at the car, second time. She punching like that. Knock him out cold.
Wow.
He sleep, I think 3 weeks he go to sleep.
Wow.
Son
Yeah,
done
anyway,
done.
go ahead.
Anyways,
Continue the
that's
story.
interesting. Yeah, because you know, I mean, that's a good code of honor. Today, there's no code of ethics.
No.
against
Nothing.
People
No, you can't do
pumpation
nothing nowadays.
anybody.
You
Seth,
pointed
let me
out-
ask you
did
guys
you
a
ever?
question.
Oh,
Ask
sorry,
you
sorry,
guys
sorry.
a question. You and you. We grew up Italian guys, right? You know a hound dog? We used to have around St. Clair the law called the hound rule. That means if your friend go with a chick, nice lady, she have, you know,
Yeah.
intercourse, outercourse, whatever she do.
Yeah.
You have a sex with her. You loves each other. Your friend, you're not supposed to go to a dance or to ask for her that date. You don't touch her. That's
Those
the
are the
hound
rules.
rule.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to let it go. You should talk nice. Tony, do you ever happen like that?
I don't know.
Tell the truth, Tony.
Did we have a rule, or
Did
did
you
I?
ever, no, did
did
you
I
ever
ever?
do pumpation while you friend the girlfriend?
No.
That's
never.
it. Claudio, did you do pumpation for the nation with your
I
friend
wouldn't
the
touch
girlfriend?
anybody's
But
my,
friends of
my
mine
past
tried to pumpation
girlfriends.
my girlfriend.
What did you do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I said, go. I said, enjoys yourself, and I never. That was the end of the girl for me.
Yeah.
See, this is nice philosophy. Claudio, will you agree with this, Tony, in this situation?
If the girl's like coming on you,
No. If a friend of mine went after one of my girls,
I would be mad at him.
I wouldn't be mad at him. I just have no issue with the girl.
It's just not right. Thunder.
The situation.
Yeah, you know, there was one situation. I'm not going to mention names, but anyway, no, I won't even say it because telling the story would identify who.
You identify who it
I
is.
bet
Yeah,
you I
so
know.
I can't say
And
it.
Tony, we're friends a long time. You know, I know the story.
Then you know
Yeah.
the story, but we.
Claudio, we can't talk.
Yeah.
It's like, you remember the story you told about the golden shower? I
Yeah.
couldn't talk anymore. I couldn't talk
Yeah,
anymore.
I'm supposed to talk normal after that.
You can't talk normal.
Anyway,
No.
so did you ever go to the Canary Cottage?
Oh, back in those days, yeah. Canary Cottage.
Remember that place?
Yeah, yeah. And then
Remember that place at the Hotel Triumph?
Yeah,
Yeah.
famous, eh?
Keelan Wilson?
Yeah, but they have
There.
the live bands
Yeah.
nowadays,
They
eh?
didn't start that way.
yeah, yeah,
I just remember you parked and you went through
Yeah.
this tunnel,
yeah.
Yeah.
and then it initially started as a disco, and then they had live bands,
Yes.
just
yeah.
like that place in 427 there.
The Mad Mechanic.
No, it was like another place where I used to see bands there.
Attila Cave.
Was it a hotel?
Yeah,
Zodiac?
the Zodiac.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
famous.
used to see
I used to
Louisiana
go to-
Purchase there.
Yeah, those these black guys they're dressed up all in colors back in those days,
they
and
look-
they sang Earth, Wind, and Fire music.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah. So
Real
what? Any
relatives in the
stories
crowd.
about the Canary Cottage? There was a lot of gangsters over there. Holy crap!
A lot of trouble over there.
Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah, it was different again. Again, we see these bands like you said, Tony was saying. It was fun to see them. It
Nice.
doesn't matter if they're black, Italian, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Nobody
We
cares.
seen each other black names, WAPs. We used to say back in we didn't care.
Nobody
What about
care.
Misty's? Misty's? You ever
Oh my
go to-
God, it used to be called the Cave before.
Yeah,
I remember the cave.
That's what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
the good.
At the
We
airport.
used to walk inside. And I swear to God, I'm not making a lie. I had the white suit before John Travolta did. I had a three-piece suit. I had a white one.
I heard
I have
that.
pictures to prove it.
I heard
My
it.
brother had a rusty one. Looked like the black guys in Detroit, right?
Yeah,
with,
funky.
with the chain here.
Yeah.
And we had the two color shoes on. They were like brown and
Two-tone,
white.
eh?
Yeah, two-tone.
Yeah.
And then they had the see-through socks. You can see actually the libel coming out
Yeah.
from the socks. And the sock puts up sempre free to scorn chip because we weren't allowed to shower back in
No,
the
you
days.
can't.
No, senza shower. Isce foro. right?
Hold on a second. Why couldn't you shower?
We weren't allowed. It's
didn't even have a shower.
cost is old, right?
So, too much money. Water,
This
soap.
is bad for your hair. That's how it was back in the days. So when then the cave, we had to wait till renovated, became Misty's after.
Yeah, famous, eh?
So we went to Misty's, and I remember it was like the place to be.
Yeah.
And I remember I danced with one girl. She had this dressy wrap around. So I'm doing back in the days, the hustles, man. Do the hustle. Do the hustle.
Yeah, do the hustle.
So
yeah.
she's spinning around, the dress falls off.
Ah.
So all down the mace, the bra, and everybody at the bar going, yeah. She yelled and she ran to the washroom.
Oh,
I never saw her again because she took off. She was embarrassed. I was going, what the hell happened? Because her dress got untied.
Oh, that's bad, eh?
Yeah, back in those days, they had the lipire for those shoes. I couldn't stand those. I liked when the toes are covered.
Yeah, I agree.
These, they had and it would go beyond the sole. You could see touching the ground. Lipire. And it would turn to block this part of the toes. It turned me off. Turn me off.
Well, your foot,
I look at the toes, I go, that's it. I'm not dating her. I'm not going to date with her.
foot issue, right?
Right? Don't you look at the toes first?
Yeah.
Horrible.
You have to.
Yeah, you
have
gotta
nice
look.
feet.
Se te lipire brutto, manca li cane.
No, you can't.
Manca per free. I don't want nothing.
Yeah, for why? Do you have to pay a lot?
Yeah, it depends. My wife fit her like a rock. You know, all the skin
Yeah.
to come off.
Yeah.
My wife uses a number 4. Which one? The sandpaper.
To clean it up.
At the same time,
Yeah, the heel too.
yeah, because sometimes when we make love, sometimes my wife on the bottom, she's big like a futon. Sometimes she put her legs on my back. 'Cause
So-
all that skin is scratching my back. I go, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. But let's not be ridiculous,
So anyway, those are the
Those are the dates.
I'll tell you something.
Yeah. It was
The
different. Life was
70s,
different.
It was just a lot of people say the best ever decade.
They were.
2 decades, the 70s and the 80s.
Best.
Our
Like, it was-
generation ruined the generation after, because after us, it came VD and everything, because of us.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because of
We
what?
invented VD.
You invented
We invented
I remember if
VD.
the girl's wearing tight pants,
Yeah.
okay, she doesn't have VD. It's okay. If she wore loose pants, she's got VD, because VD, like, it's on your skin.
Oh,
so we used to go to bars. Okay, who's got tight pants? Okay, they don't have VD. VD was big one time.
Famous,
What do you mean? How? Why?
Sexual
what's the
transmission.
I understand what it is, but what's the connection to tight pants?
Because if you were tight pants, and if you had VD, it would, like, if it was a sore, it would hurt you if you had tight pants on. That's the logic we
You
have.
don't think
back
it's
then.
herpes you're talking about? Or
Yeah,
VD?
herpes and that kind of
that
stuff.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So if you
VD.
had tight pants on, you're okay.
That means you're okay.
clear.
But
How
if you
about
had
for the
loose pants-
guys?
Huh?
How about for the guys?
The same thing. The guys, I remember the story about Tony Switzer one time. Remember crabs?
No.
Yeah, there's a little.
Crabs came out.
Oh, they're famous.
Get
Yeah.
back in the bush again.
Yeah, they used to come
Two
up.
guys, I'm not going to mention their name, they ended up getting crabs. They were driving upstairs at Tony Switzer. There was a place, and do anything you want up there.
What do you mean? Like a apartment?
Right?
Who owned that place?
Tony's Pizzeria.
Oh, okay. So it was just like a room upstairs.
So getting upstairs, yeah.
Storage.
Remember they had penthouse pictures everywhere. We used to play the dark and hit them over here, the girls, and all these pictures right up there. I remember there's a cop and actually giving a ticket, and then Frank goes outside with his gun. Hey, oh man, they're gonna shoot us! Like, and nowadays they would shoot you. And it was 2 guys got the crabs, and they couldn't tell their mother. So instead of buying Nuvudanda, no, we couldn't buy Nuvudanda. No. They got their underwear and they boiled it in hot water to kill the crabs.
You have to kill everything.
And then they put cream on.
And then they had the famous shampoo called Quelada.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See,
That's it.
And they had to get rid of the crab because they had to bring the original underwears back, because then the mother's going, Malavudanda, get this stuff for that. They had to bring the same ones back.
Mother
Right?
find out.
Oh, yeah.
Come catch of holiday.
But where did they catch these things?
It's transmitted sometimes if you with a dirty person, like they had, it was called crabs back then.
But wait, they're different style of crab too in those days.
Yeah.
I remember there's a certain kind of crab.
Yes.
They used to jump.
Yeah.
They jump they jump from here
was
to
gross,
another
man.
person. They
Now,
jump.
now they wait in lineups at Mandarin for hours to get.
Yeah.
So the generation after that, my brother Bruno, we wrecked that generation. Oh, you guys wrecked our generation. We got this, we got this, we got this. Now we got that.
Yeah, I know. Everybody said the best decade was 70s because
We were.
there was no
rules.
cameras. There were rules, but like there's no people are all nervoso now. Like they take pictures. They got dash cams, ass cams, body cams. Everything is recorded.
Even the cops, if they caught you with a beer, like as I was saying, beach, they empty it. Okay, no more beer for you. That's it, right?
Yeah.
You know what?
Nowadays, they put you in jail.
Oh,
You're
now
right,
Sega
Claudio.
Beach, now there's no more white guys anyway. So now
No.
they just,
You
it's
gotta
like,
watch yourself now, because now what happened? This kind of generation now, we're never gonna have a history 10 years from now.
No.
There's no stories to tell.
There's nothing to say.
No character people.
No.
People can be themselves. Like Tony said, they got a camera. Everybody watching them,
Yeah.
right? Nobody trained to come to the boxing club and train a Rocco style. Nobody watching the video for how to fight, how to do exercise. So what are we gonna kind of world we're gonna have? Now, let's say the 2035.
You're right.
2040. What story are you gonna tell? That
Nothing
on
to
your
say.
cell phone, I took a picture of somebody.
Yeah. My food. I take a picture of my food.
Look at my food when I go to fall.
Yeah.
No Nobody
kidding.
care, right? So what are you gonna do?
I know, you're right.
and that's why, that's why podcasts like this, because we talk about things
In the past.
that you never actually will experience in your life.
Oh, they won't.
Oh, you guys are. Your parents would have the no. It was a
No, they'll
the
never.
40s and 50s were a different
Yeah.
time. The 70s and 80s, especially up to the mid 80s, then it all started to go to shit mid 80s. As soon as the cell phone came out, that's when the 84, 85.
Yes.
That's when things started to really, technology started to really
Changing.
ruin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why when you hear these stories, that's why you should follow us, subscribe, like, whatever you got to do, because we're gonna have more people. Like, these are stories that are real. They're not.
Oh, there's more to come after.
Yeah, we don't make this stuff up. We live this stuff, and and this is stuff that we can put on the air.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway,
and to Claudio, right? He's a movie man.
well, this is what I'm going to get at. So,
See?
I'd like to know, like, so that's the stories, and we can talk about
Yes.
just what happened in one year of that
Oh,
decade,
geez.
that
Yeah,
time.
easy. Yeah.
But then let's talk a bit more. So you worked, and then how did you actually get into doing wedding videos? Because you own Coppola Films. You guys what's your website?
Tell the truth.
What's the website? Do you have a website where people can hire you? Or
yeah, when I grew up anyways, my mom was into tons of pictures. And I have so many pictures that she did in Italy, and back then you couldn't even afford a camera. And the poses she did back then, these photographers can't do the poses. Anyways, she got me involved in it. And I remember taking pictures of her sometimes, and if I did halfway, e li pire non sta lì, che sono giunga. So I got that to the scarpa, and she hated waist up. Metti di pire red.
That's nice. Yeah.
So I used to learn that from doing a wedding. I make sure you show the whole thing, not just halfway.
Yeah, that's nice.
So she got me interested in that and doing pictures, right? So she made me take care. When she passed away, she goes, before she does it, you take care of my pictures. She has a stock like this.
Oh, it's
you see the
beautiful.
pictures she got. Claudio Coppola, the singer, saw that I post a lot of that stuff.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
So he just did last year, 2 years ago, a heritage about the Italian heritage.
Yeah.
How he did a video, and he says, I want you to be part of my video with your parents' pictures. That was an honor.
Oh, yeah.
So I had the pictures like this, and to show, and he was singing, and it's a beautiful song that he did, right? It's on YouTube, you can see it, and it shows all these people. Tony Monaco was there, Romina. We all have pictures of our parents in Italy. Which I even have pictures of my mom when she got off the boat, 1955.
Oh, that's incredible.
Nobody's got those pictures. I even got the postcard that she had back then. It wasn't the Titanic, it was something else, right?
Yeah.
That's why I like to go to Halifax to
It
find
wouldn't
out.
have been the Titanic in 1955. That's
No,
for sure.
but I would like to go to Halifax for that reason, to find out, because you can see all the heritage that went on back in those days. I've never been.
Pier 21.
Yeah.
In Halifax, I went there.
You been?
Yeah, I've been 2 times to Pier 21. You
I
see
would
all
love
the-
to go.
Because I came from Calabria in
On the boat.
57, the Olympia.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
has it?
they had the name of the people, and then you watch the video of all the people that
Wow.
come in all the different years. Yeah.
So there's actually a place called Pier 21.
Pier 21 Halifax. I've been there 2 times, yeah.
Oh, I like to go there.
You like to
You're
go,
gonna
Tony? We
love
should
it.
go there.
Yeah, I
It's
would
all
love
the
it.
stuff that went on back in those days.
So it's like a museum, or what is it?
It's exactly like a museum. So they have like a Pier 20,
See?
a Pier 21, Pier 22.
Wow.
So you go there, it's a little building.
Wow.
And then when you walk upstairs, you see a lot of pictures. Start the picture. Then they have a dark room. They show you the movie. All the immigrants, they come
my
to
God.
Canada.
Italians, right?
Italian, but other people too. They mix them up a
Wow.
little bit, the
I
Polish
would love to
people
see
come,
that.
The Greek people, they come. And then you see the Italian people, and then they have the name and the picture. All the boats that they stop and
Yes.
they appear in Halifax.
Yes. Yeah.
Because when you come from Calabria,
Yeah.
you have to go, Italy. you have to go first to Halifax.
Yes.
Or some people
They all
went
did
to-
that back
My
then.
parents went there too, Halifax.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
So
lot of
is there a
people-
name you could see when they arrived? Or like,
Yeah,
like
they have the
Ellis
name.
Island in
Yeah.
New York?
Buddy, it
They
has
have-
everything now. I want to go see it.
I gotta go check it
believe
out.
me, when you watch the movie,
Yes.
and then the other things, they have a think it's from the different ship that fall
Wow.
up, and then, and then they get emotional yourself.
Yeah,
You
of
cry
course.
out about it.
I would be
because
emotional
in
too.
those days, either you went to Pier 21 in Canada or Ellis Island in New York.
Yeah.
They didn't care. They treated us like a schiavi.
Yeah, yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah,
sea.
yeah, yeah.
So then from Halifax, you got to take the train to go to whatever, Montreal
See?
or Toronto.
Look what they did back
And
then.
the
Oh, I
train
know. You
in
have to
those days, my mother, I remember she told me, the train have the wooden seats.
Yes.
And you gotta go for like a 24, 28 hours
Yes,
sitting down.
yes.
Your ass is sore. They give it, get a panini, the sandwich like that they
See?
cut off the crust. My mother started to cry. Dice, mamma, camurimo, facciamo mangiare cane. E da che su pane a rucola così. You can't survive with that
Yeah.
kind of bread.
No, no.
So when the Italian went to Montreal or Toronto,
Yes.
they get pissed off. What happened? They open up in the first place, bakery.
Bakery. That's right. You got that right. So you're telling
My mom
So your mom, it was the
inspired
inspiration
me to get
be-
involved with pictures.
So,
So
when did you do your first
my first one,
wedding-
I'll never forget.
wedding video?
I remember it's like diving in a deep end and not knowing how to swim. That's the first feeling I had. I was going. So I got a buddy of mine's video. I looked at the raw footage
Right.
to see what they do in the morning. Back in those days, you used to do skits. The bride in front of the putting lipstick in front of the mirror, and the skits and the guys disappearing or James Bond. We did all that stuff back
Oh,
then.
that's the best, yeah.
So then I looked at that stuff. I never forget my first wedding. I was working for somebody. I even worked for Aldo Vitates. The poor guy, he passed away too.
Yeah.
He used to own House of Photography back in those days, and 40/40 Steels back in those days.
Yeah, famous, yeah.
So I went to do the wedding. I never these guys looking at me, and I'm sweating buckets. I was going, "Di mamma, I got to do my first wedding." So I kept thinking what I saw at the other wedding. Kept thinking about that. It was like I saw it 10,000 times. It was stuck here, right? So I did pretty good the first one. Actually, before that one, I did another one. The guy goes to me, "You should do this for a living," right? And I remember about a light back, and it was expensive back in those days. You know how much the camera was back then? $35,000.
Yeah. Expense.
You know how much the editing suite was? $20,000, right? So together, you spend $50,000 to $100,000, depending. Nowadays, $10,000 you can get everything nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Easy.
But I liked it better then because there was less people working doing this
Right.
industry.
That's
Truth and about, they're coming with their phones now.
Oh, yeah, everybody take a shot.
Oh yeah, I'm a videographer, right? So we'd sit doing that. I remember that first wedding. I was very nervous. I was getting a bit of anxiety. It was really it's a full 15. Back in those days, 18 hours because you're there till 2 a.m. back. Now at 11 o'clock you're done. Get out, right?
Yeah.
2 a.m. That's when they make the speech, and they're all sweating. And the guy had a rash here because. And in the back when you see all the wooden tables because they took the cloths up and the lights are up. I want to thank everybody right back in those days. They're good. Yeah. And you're allowed to take the food home back then.
Yeah, remember?
No, you can't.
Cake,
It's against the law.
everything, chicken, pizzeri.
It's against the law.
Yeah.
Against the law?
Because the husband
cool.
is responsible if you get sick. They're going to get responsible.
Yeah,
for it.
okay.
Right.
Remember the Condessa?
Oh, I remember that place. I go there.
I did a gypsy wedding one time.
Oh, my God.
Tutte fumava sigarette. And then women had how long nails. These are palm readers. You can tell, right?
Oh, yes.
And fumava. And I was going, I used to smoke then. I was going, I can't even smoke it. You can smoke in the hall back then.
Yeah.
So the women said it one side, the men on the side, and then came a guy with a white, look at King of Gypsies, the white suit on with the bread.
Lupane.
And inside had tons of money. He goes, this got to be caught on video. Said they empty it. There was like $35,000 back in those
And the
days.
bread.
Inside they took it out, and that was for the bride and groom. And the weirdest one I've ever did wedding. I know I'm all over
Yeah.
the place.
Yeah, that's okay. That's
She was 16, and they had to break the virginity the night of the marriage. I can't remember what background they were. It's like gypsies, and they inside the hall, behind a curtain. True story.
Come on.
Sanga. I was go. That's when you weren't allowed to have a cigarette back in those days. You can't have cigarette, but you can have sex inside the hall. You know what I mean? And they had to break the virginity that same night. It's part of their religion back then, whoever they were, right? Oh my God. But they were behind a curtain.
So you had a wedding reception.
imagine?
They have to go pumpation.
Yeah, in a corner.
She was only 16.
Yeah, I think there were gypsies, something like that, in that area.
Wow.
Came back on, but that
Did
was
you film that too? No, they wouldn't let you film that. No,
yeah.
you filmed that.
No, not allowed to. No, sorry.
can't,
I thought it said no.
That's a sacrilege. You can't,
Yeah.
you know.
Mind you, back then there was a couple that banged each other. They paid me an extra $200,
Extra what?
but not really
Hold on.
banging each other.
They wanted you to. They
No,
wanted
not
to be,
videotape. They said I had to get the camera ready on the bed, like this, put a tape in it, and wait. That says in the lobby at the hotel. All of a sudden they call me. Nah, manga jingmarud. I know. I already came everywhere, right?
Where you gonna go?
Hold on a sec. So they
called
wanted to
downstairs.
record themselves
Yeah, so I go
probationing.
upstairs and get my camera. But when I went home, you know the eject button? I cleaned it with the detergent because for sure, I fattar, right? And they touched the eject button to take the tape out. So I cleaned the eject button with detergent. I think I'm thinking, but I got an extra $200 back then.
Hold on. So is that the only time they wanted to film their pumpation to take the tape out?
Well, because they're not doing my hands, right? So I took my cameras on a tripod, and
So how do you know they didn't touch anything else?
Oh, I could the whole thing. The detergent I used.
Clean everything.
What kind of detergent?
Oh, my mom back then had what was it? The bleach, like remember the bleach used to come with like gadzoza?
Yeah.
bleach.
Sia or whatever.
The bleach you put in a cloth with the gloves on. Oh yeah.
Clean them
They
up.
put the clean
But
them
it
up.
smelled like bleach after my stuff.
That's okay.
It's
At least
better
you know
than
it's-
smelling like something else.
But I kept.
Right? What's worse?
at least
Oh,
it's
it was
clean.
bad back then.
It's
I
clean,
mean,
eh?
that was interesting for me. Like stories like that, I'll never forget what they did to me.
That's a great
Right back in
story,
those
yeah.
days. But so we went from the big cameras, then we started getting to the smaller cameras, which was better. The mini tapes were better, right?
Yeah.
I remember the first one was Canon. It was a white one, beautiful looking
Famous
thing.
one, eh?
All right, I now walk. I was going, fuck, I wasn't doing a wedding anymore, right? But back in those days, you cannot see on this side because the camera was big
Yeah.
on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
So
you're
whatever was on
holding-
this side, oh, the mom, right?
So you're
So-
missing a peripheral vision.
Yeah. So I remember when we go backwards in the church when the bride and groom get married, you know how many people I smashed their head with my elbow, tung, tung, and did them brown, right? And you hear my guy, I'm going, mom, but the one guy yelled in the background. What's my mother got to do with it? Right? I'm going, mom, but
They fight her.
Oh,
yeah.
man. Now, like, what do you use now? Like, you use high tech. Like,
oh,
now-
the DSLRs.
Yeah,
They're
that's
nothing.
it.
You hold in
There's-
your hand.
yeah.
They stabilize it. People use it. Drones
stabilization,
now. Drones are
drones.
huge now.
Famous, yeah.
Right?
Easy. Now,
Are you still busy? Like, are you doing?
Yeah, it's still busy. Now, if you go to the hall, you'll see they're hiring robots. They're like 10 feet tall, lights on. They dance in the middle of the dance floor. They spray this dried ice on you. You don't like 10 seconds.
I mean, you had the robot.
Mille pezzi dall'acqua.
Aspetta un poco.
Yeah.
You told me they have a robot
Yeah.
with the arm and the leg?
Oh, yeah.
I
It's
wanna
okay,
fight
we don't
one.
want to see. We don't need to see. We don't see. We
No,
can't.
no,
we-
I
hey,
expect them
hold
both.
on a second. Everybody's got to see it. Not just we got. See, this is what we're going to add to our podcast: the ability to show stuff on the computer.
No, you're Claudio, now pissed off a little bit. That's the three people.
That's three people there.
Oh, that's my daughter. Chi è che sta ora?
No, there's nobody. There you go.
That's a person over there.
It's
Hold
a
on.
person.
Oh, it's not a robot.
Here, let me grab that. Let me show it to the. I'm going to zoom in on one of the cameras so people can see what he's talking about. Okay.
Make sure it's still there, compadre Tony.
Can you see that? Yeah. Pretty good. Yeah. I don't know.
It's big now.
That's crazy. Yeah.
All I see is a very rotund bride there dancing.
Oh, yeah. A lot of snack.
And it's not cheap.
Wow, you have to pay those
Huh,
people.
mille pezzi at least.
Oh, I would.
And then I did Santalucci's wedding, Claudio Santalucci. He was there too. And he said, Claudio Santalucci.
Santalucci.
Plays accordion.
Oh yeah, the
So he
accordion.
starts singing, Kadari. And he knows I love that song. So he puts the mic on me, Kadari. Then I started going, Gula Mam. And he put the video away because I started swearing at him. And Gula Mam, and Gula Sor, the Kadari. But he took it away, the mic. Right?
Wow. So yeah. And
I
so,
did Frank Spadone's wedding.
So you and you have like your nephew working with you, right?
Yeah, Daniel, he's
Does he
involved.
have any kids?
That's
Does he have
nice,
any kids yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet, he's
But
still-
I think they're planning.
Yeah,
whatever,
that's
right?
nice.
But
Anyway, so yeah, this was
long time.
we got a
30 years now.
30. That's awesome.
All good. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I was the same age as the bride and groom. Now I'm the parents' age.
That's okay.
That's how it is. I know. Last
Love
time
it.
I asked you a question,
Yes.
right? And you said apprehensively. Is that a good word? Apprehensive.
That's nice.
Anyway, so how many brides have you banged? Remember I asked you that?
Oh, yeah,
during
remember
your
that?
Career.
Oh, you're not
So, but you said one. Has it been an increase?
No.
No, now it's how many grandmothers then?
Grandmothers.
Or
Imagine.
hold on, moms of the brides have you banged pumpation?
No.
No, eh?
Nothing involved with that one. No.
No, all
Because
right.
If I got to know your marido too, I would stay away from that.
Bad luck.
Yeah.
It's bad
Like
luck.
that law you said.
We have the
hound
hound
law.
law.
Hound law, hound law. Yeah, that's
cannot
true.
What do you call it?
The hound rule.
Hound rule.
Hound rule.
One man Italian goes,
That's
you
it.
don't touch.
That was my hand rule.
Anyway, Claudio,
That's it. Yes.
it was.
treat.
This was, I gotta tell you, the best time I've had so far.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Claudio.
And we're gonna you got to be regular.
Yes.
Like you got to come like every maybe 4 or 5 weeks.
Okay.
You got to come.
Talk about the past. Like
Yeah.
we said, we teach the kids what
Yeah,
we went
maybe-
through.
yeah,
As we
like-
said, they're not going to experience what we experienced.
No, we got
nothing, no
we
history
got
to
to tell
repeat.
more stories, but definitely like to have you back. And
Thank you.
Again,
It was an honor.
for the people watching and listening to this. If you like, just
Yeah.
kind of subscribe or click follow. I don't even know because I'm not too technical. Mike, what can they do? Click subscribe. Yeah. So, Mike, thanks for doing this. Like,
Mike.
it's a lot
Mike,
easier.
thank you.
It's a lot easier to do this when you're not worrying about switching cameras and audio and stuff. So we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike.
And
Next time, Mike, we're going to bring fortune cookies too. We're not fortune out there.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, the other day, quick story short, there was an
Okay,
Indian guy
well-
driving a limo, right?
Yeah.
So he comes up to me, where we going for the park? Where we going? Like they're shaking their head. I was going, listen, we're going to go to Tim Hortons first. You have to order first because they'll understand you more than me. You didn't understand what that meant. What did you say? You order for us at Tim Hortons. He didn't understand what that meant.
understand.
Indiano.
Because they don't understand it. They don't understand what double means. Well, you know me, double. Get your all.
Two sugar, two cream.
That's it. But they don't
Who
understand.
doesn't understand
The
double
people at Tim Horton place.
Yeah.
They're all new, eh?
The East, Indiana.
Yeah.
Right?
They, talk from
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
they understand what they're doing.
I asked for an extra shot of espresso. They all get confused over there in my coffee. But anyway, so yeah.
It used to be all us before. Tutti Italiano,
Yeah.
remember La Sam?
Yeah, sure.
24 hours a
Those places,
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fullers, remember Fullers?
Of course.
A young and comer.
Young and Shepherd.
Shepherd, that's right. Up in 24 hours.
Yeah.
And
Some guy dared me to. One day, some guy offered me $10 if I would take
Yeah.
a shit in a glass in the bathroom.
No, they're not supposed to do those kind of things. That's no class.
There was like that was a rough place there.
Very rough.
Full.
I remember they had the mint candies, and they said, don't eat them.
Don't eat them. Yeah.
Because legend at the shop.
Yeah.
And then somebody did the
Yeah.
experiment. They tested these mint candies. They weren't wrapped back then.
Yeah.
There
They
was
were just a
urine
bowl.
on them. Piss because Gillian took out.
Yeah.
And then they go pay the bill.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh
take
yeah.
it.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
remember?
Now they're all wrapped, but then
It's all
everything
wrapped
was
now.
open table. But there's probably a podcast just talking about Fullers and
We have
the
to-
one- there
well,
was, there was
restaurants,
the
stuff that we did.
Fullers at Young and Shepherd, and there was a Fullers
Jane
at
and Wilson.
Yeah.
Jane and Wilson, and
All
then
these
Sheridan
icons.
Mall, the one at anyways, lots of stories. But Claudio, thanks for coming.
Thank you,
Thank you,
too.
Claudio.
And yes, follow us, and just we'd like to thank you for listening, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Ci vediamo.
I love you, nobody else.
Yamo neno.